What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to go over 5 things I don't want in the Harry Potter open world RPG. So, a few weeks ago, I talked about things that I do want that the game kind of needs to have, and this one I want to talk about what it should not have. Now, these are kind of just really fun, different kinds of videos I've thought up, and I've done on a couple of other different games over the past. If you guys have any ideas of things you want me to cover Harry Potter related, definitely let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to hit them. I really want to make some different kinds of Harry Potter stuff. I understand, obviously, there really isn't a lot of news, isn't a lot of things going on right now. Obviously, with the reveal, hopefully in the fall, which we will talk about over the coming weeks, and obviously, if there's anything breaking news on this game, I'll be sure to cover it as well. But let's go through this list. So I tried my best to not make this a literal kind of reverse of the wants one. I didn't literally take all my wants and say, okay, I just don't want, like the kind of the reverse of it. Some of these are brand new. Some of these you may have heard me talk about in past videos. So starting at number, and these are not, by the way, in any specific order. First thing is 0 multiplayer elements is something that I do not want. Honestly, the more I talk to myself, which I do actually quite often, about this game, I really do want multiplayer, okay? We've talked about Quidditch. We've talked about wizard chess. We've talked about like dueling. There's a lot of different things that they could potentially do. Yes, it would make the game even, I guess, more obviously bigger, right, than what we are already kind of hope that the game is. It would make it maybe more dynamic. It would make it harder. I mean, there's no doubt talking about, okay, we want this in the game, and then all of a sudden we say, oh, and by the way, let's throw in some multiplayer elements. Yeah, that does make it a lot more difficult. However, it's not like it's never been done before. Games like, obviously, GTA, Red Dead, there's been open world games that have had multiplayer elements to them. So I wouldn't rule it completely out. Honestly, maybe I would have said at some point, like, if there is no I will say this. If there is no multiplayer, I'll understand. I'll actually 1,000% understand. I'll completely, let go of the multiplayer ask, and I'll be okay with it. With that being said, I think, be slightly disappointed. You know what I mean? I do want to be able to play Quidditch. I do want to be able to do something with just people online. I think that'd be really, really fun. The potential is there to do so many really awesome things. So I won't mind it. Again, I'm not going to, throw a hissy fit over it if it doesn't end up happening. They already, from all the stuff that we expect of this game, they already definitely have their hands full. So I'll understand it. It's just definitely something that I hope is in the game. Second thing I don't want is limited freedom. Limited freedom in terms of exploration. So this should be, by the way, a really big world, okay? Again, expectations, we're going to have to really manage them. I feel like they're already kind of overflowing. I mean, they're kind of already all over the place, because this could very well, and like I've said in the past, if this game is what we want it to be, and if this game is what we expect it to be, we could be saying it is, if not, it's one of the greatest open world games ever created, okay? And obviously, saying that, and saying it right now, and we really have nothing to go off of, that's saying a lot. I do completely understand, that's putting a lot on them. But with that being said, we've heard a lot of things about this game in terms of exploration. They need to be able to let us go around. Now, it's going to be on next gen, probably primarily for next gen. They'll have power that has never been given, besides obviously PC, has never been given to games before, right? To be able to achieve this. So they really can go all in. And we've obviously had kind of conflicting reports of, oh, you're going to be able to go to this place, but you're not going to be able to go to these places. We'll have to see when the game actually comes out. Are we able to go, for whatever reason, to the Ministry of Magic? Are we able to go to Hogsmeade? Are we able to go to the Forbidden Forest? All these different places. I think a lot of them, honestly, will probably be able to go. I feel like Hogwarts is obviously going to be the main, draw. I think it's actually going to be the thing that we'll have to see how much percentage you're supposed to spend in each area. I would prefer to spend a lot of my time in Hogwarts. Again, and what we talk about with Hogwarts, right, and I've seen people say in the comments, don't wimp out. No wimping out on Hogwarts. Let us go everywhere. Let us explore all these places. Let us explore places we've seen in the books, we've seen in the movies. Let us go there. Don't limit certain areas that you're allowed to go into. I mean, if you think about an open world, okay, you think about GTA, or, just pick an open world, or Witcher, it's big, and it's literally wide, or Red Dead, it's wide. And now you can go in certain buildings, you can go in all these different places, but it's an area. It's a huge area. Hogwarts, really, if you think about what we've seen in Hogwarts from anywhere you've ever seen or heard about it, it isn't like that massive. I think what would make it big is all the different floors, all the different areas that you can go in it. You know what I mean? It's not. I mean, so if you, I think like a 1-to-1, a Hogwarts compared to like say the world of Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption is bigger. The worlds of Red Dead 2, they're much bigger. But Hogwarts is multi-layered. Maybe they're, and it's also not necessarily Hogwarts, right? It's the wizarding world. So again, it's Hogsmeade. It's all these different places. They have a lot of potential. I don't want them limiting us in terms of like, oh, you can go here, but you can't go there. I feel like that would be a really big missed opportunity. Third thing I don't want from this game is for them to, I guess you could also say, wimp out or kind of limit how bad we can be. So, you know, the thing is, what we've heard from, I guess, the best insiders, right? And I would honestly say Jason Schreier, as I've said in the past, is the best one. He came out around 2 weeks ago, and in his article talking about Harry Potter, one of the things he said in it was a ton of the leaks and rumors that have come out since the original one, okay? So since the one of October of 2018, a lot of the ones that have come out since then have all been fake, okay? A lot of the stuff that we've heard since then has not been real. Now, ironically, when I've covered all these things, I have said, this doesn't necessarily sound right. Oh, this contradicts something that we've already heard. So it's not like that's any news to us. But one of the main things that have come out a lot recently is they would limit how bad we can be. That you're not going to be able to learn forbidden spells, or you're not going to be able to do certain things in this game. When again, that just doesn't sound. If you are able to pick if you want to be good or bad, you got to let us be bad. And that has been in my videos, really honestly, since the beginning. For over a year now, I've really driven that as one of my main points home. Is it's bold, it's risky, but let us be bad if we want to do really bad things. And in a world like Harry Potter, I mean, there's like torture. I guess we can use that word. There's definitely torture, but it's not really used all that often. Basically, it's Avada Kedavra. That is the biggest thing that I guess kind of, separates if you're a good person in that world or a bad person. If you're a good person, you normally don't use the killing spell as your main spell, right? You use some sort of like stupefy move, right? Like Harry Potter only knows like 2 different spells his entire career, right? So, I mean, and in all honesty, that really is a big thing. So, no, am I expecting to go around Hogwarts and just taking out students left and right doing Avada Kedavra to them? No, absolutely not. But you gotta make us. There has to be reasons. Well, I mean, there has to be reasons why we're bad. There has to be things that you can only get if you are bad. But it's gotta be fulfilled. It's gotta be fulfilled. So I think that's very, very important. Again, talking about wimping out in terms of not giving us enough kind of area to explore. Another thing is not letting us go all the way one way or the other, right? If we're gonna be bad, you gotta let us be evil, right? And so I think that's very, very important to this game. The next thing, number 4, this is something that I do not think I agree with, like other people agree with me very much at all. In fact, in terms of all the stuff I've talked about with Harry Potter, I feel like this is the thing that people disagree with me the most, is the aging, okay? Now, again, when the leaks originally came out, we know that we're a 5th year, Hogwarts student, that you're going to be going through the year, going to be able to go to classes, have friends, have enemies, all this kind of stuff. Again, the newest things to come out about this game, which are most likely fake now that we know that, but I guess they could still end up being real, right? Is that you're eventually going to kind of age out, that the game is actually going to end you, growing up and maybe even taking a job like in the Ministry of Magic. I see what people are saying, and in fact, I think I've even made videos or in like a leak video, I've talked about what I feel about that, and people have definitely made good points. Look, I do think the potential for like another Harry Potter, and you're a lot older, right? Or you're literally like a grown adult now, you could do different things. I like the potential there. The thing is, I just don't know where they go for the future. This is hundreds of years before Harry Potter. Is it, or if they make a sequel, let's say, if this is or not even a sequel, I mean, if this is like a trilogy or whatever, do they focus, specifically on the area of time that we're in? Do they create these villains that we've never heard of before, that they're the bad guys, and we're going to be dealing with them, say, for the next 2 games? If you're going to do that, then yes, I guess it makes sense. Maybe the next game, you have a job, you're doing this, you're doing that. Maybe you can be like a teacher at Hogwarts. I mean, I don't know. I mean, honestly, though, the possibilities are pretty cool. I just don't want to grow up too much in this game. And honestly, the main reason, the biggest thing that I will say, and that I think, stuck with from the beginning is, again, I mean, I have no problem being an adult and being able to do all these adult wizarding things. I mean, I think the potential that, for a game like that, that's also huge. But what I will say is, again, as I've said in the past, you may only get one game like this. So this may not be the most realistic or the biggest or the most, like, to scale open world game we'll ever get in our lives, but if they're going to give us Hogwarts, this could ideally be like the closest we're going to get. So I don't want to spend half this game in Hogwarts, and then the second half we grow up and we're not even in Hogwarts anymore. You know what I mean? If we're going to be spending an entire open world game in Hogwarts, I want to be able to do everything there is to do in Hogwarts. I really want it to be something special. I don't want to grow up too fast. I mean, in real life too, but mainly in this game. I just don't want to grow up and have to leave this area that has been done well in other, mediums, and even in other games it's been done well, but I really want them to take it to a next level with this game, and I just don't want it to be over too quickly, pretty much. And number 5 is, and this could be kind of like a weird one, I totally understand, this kind of just popped in my head, is focusing too much on the creatures. So you have like Fantastic Beasts. I like that movie. The first movie I think is a very, very solid movie. Second movie I don't think it's like the greatest. I think it's probably one of the weakest Harry Potter movies, if not the weakest Harry Potter movie. But when thinking about that, I know that the movie isn't literally going to be like a one-to-one for the game. I just hope they don't focus too much on creatures. Now, maybe there are people that want them to do something like that. I would just say, if I were to have to write out like the top 5, 10, 15 things I'd want to do in a wizarding world, I wouldn't put, interacting with like hippogriffs or anything. Just name like a creature. I wouldn't really put that on the top of my list. Now, again, does that happen all that much in Hogwarts? Does that happen all that much in Harry Potter? No, not really. Like Newt Scamander, right? He was kind of known to be that kind of person. So I'm not really worried about this one. I feel like actually of these 5, this would probably be like the least likely thing that I would have to be mad about or that they would include. But that is something that did pop in my head where it's like, you have like Red Dead and you can like skin animals and you can go like hunting and stuff. Well, like would Harry Potter have something like that? Like what's their version of interacting with like wildlife? You know what I mean? Like what's that version for Harry Potter? Would it be interacting with all these different creatures? Do I want that? I guess. I just wouldn't want it thrown in my face where it's like you have to interact with like 30 of these and you have to do this. You know what I mean? Like things like that I don't really want in this game. Again, with that being said, that this is the thing that I'm least looking at. Like, I think that this is probably the least likely to happen in the base game, right? So, guys, definitely, I really do want to hear from you guys. What are some things you do not want in this Harry Potter game? Again, maybe what are some things that you guys do want? If you've missed that video, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, have the bell icon turned on, and let me know, again, like I said in the beginning of the video, future Harry Potter videos. If you guys want me to make different list videos, if you guys want me to talk about a specific feature of Harry Potter, definitely let me know in the comments, and I can absolutely do it in the future, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.